All right, today is July 14th. Yesterday was Friday the 13th. Mini project 18 from B215 spreadsheet analysis, BYU Idaho. I won't spend a long time talking to myself. I'm just gonna, or hopefully I won't. Last time I was talking to myself and didn't realize the guys were already here on the group. Sending out invites now. Make sure my speakers are on. Yeah. When they pop on, I realize they're here.
Hey, John.
Hey, James.
Give me 1 second.
Take your time.
All right, John. Is Trinette on? No?
I know. Let me look and see. Well, it's just me and you so far.
What was that?
Yeah, it's just me and you so far.
Okay. So yesterday I was traveling all day. I didn't get anything done. I did, however, at least get access.
Mm-hmm. I practiced with. I got to start practicing what to do, but I haven't recorded my macro yet. But it's going to be recording a macro.
Mm.
When I first read the instructions, I made a plan of attack. I was gonna have it make a sheet, then make a button that says start, and have that button be how the person to let the person make the macro happen. I was gonna a big long plan. Then I read the instructions all the way through, and I realized they tell you what to do step by step. So I'm just instead of following my elaborate plan, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it the way it's supposed to be. But I'm just doing it right now. I haven't started. I haven't really gotten very far yet.
Well, I have just opened the thing, so.
I'm going to sit back and read the instructions. I'm just fiddling with mine for right now. We're waiting on Trinette still, so we just do what you gotta do.
On Trinette's notes?
I said we're waiting for Trinette now, so just do what you gotta do.
Oh, I thought you said something about Trinette's notes.
Nah, you misheard me.
Did you watch the video in the link?
Yeah. They're always so vague. I always get overwhelmed thinking that they're not telling me enough. But after you read the instructions straight through, all the way from start to finish, and you go back and watch the video, it makes a lot more sense.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because you kind of know what he's talking about, you know. Let's track what I was doing.
Sorry, my my wife wants to go to Oregon.
How close are you to Oregon?
Mm, I don't know. Like, I think the border is like 800 miles.
800? Did you say 800 miles?
Yeah,
And what's that trip going to be for?
I don't know. It might be like 700 miles.
Hmm. Pack extra food. It's always more expensive when you buy it fast food and you think a trip's going to cost you a certain amount of money and it costs you like twice as much. It's tiring. It was my dream to travel. When I was younger, my big dream was to travel. But every time I got around to doing it, it just wore me out, wiped me out.
What's the Portland? Oh, I couldn't think of Portland for some reason. Let's see. So to go to Portland, it would be 997 miles. So it's about 700 miles to the Oregon border.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah. All right. I just need to read the instructions because I've been really bad. I haven't been reading.
Just sit back and read the instructions because that actually, I know it's makes common sense to do that, but I don't hardly ever do. But this time I did, and it made things seem a lot easier. So go read straight through from start to finish, and then when you're done, it's like it's not as hard as you expect it to be.
Isn't that funny how like we reading is so easy yet we try to skip it?
Yeah. Hmm. Let me ask you a question. One of the instructions says add the header title. Is adding a header just putting words at the top, or is it a special format we have to use?
What part are you looking at?
With in step number 3C, the instruction says add a header title, total inventory to a cell above the 3 columns that show inventory at different locations. I'm just asking for clarification. When they ask us for a header title, we have to use a specific header font, or like from the design tab, or is it just putting in a title of words at the top?
Just putting the words up there.
Okay.
Normally,
I just want to make sure.
Normally for me though, I bold it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do too. I'm just following the steps one by one, so when it comes time for me to do the record the macro, I don't like mess up. I'm kind of already.
It doesn't. So the macro, John.
Yeah.
As long as it ends in the right format, it's fine. So you could record the macro starting whenever you started.
I mean, I could like. Yeah, but I want to make the macro go through all my mistakes, and then I mean, I don't like if instruction. Okay, how do I say this?
It doesn't matter.
I start recording the macro and I do step number 1, then I erase it and do step number 2, and then go back and do step number 1 again. They go back. If I waste a bunch of time doing things over and over, the macro is going to record doing those things over and over. You know.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter though, because it's going to do it in one step. It's not going to take the macro 30 minutes to redo what you did.
All right. Yeah, I guess you're right.
And I really highly doubt they're going to go in and there, as long as it looks the way that they want it to, they're not going to go in and look at each macro step.
I kind of thought they would, because remember at the end of the assignment 28 or the assignment whatever number it was, the teacher kind of showed us how you can go and look at all the steps in the programming.
Well, then why don't you do this, John? Why don't you just open up your thing at the end and erase the steps that were unnecessary?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started then. I won't waste my time practicing. All right.
Killing me, John. You're killing me. Okay, so let's see. Where did my spreadsheet go?
All right. I'm going to send out the invites again just in case Trinette didn't catch it. Hope she's all right.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should talk really bad right now. So when she watches,
Microphone muscle. Say again. We should talk to what?
We should talk really bad about Trinette right now. So when she watches the recording, she can see it.
You're funny.
And then she'd be like, "Oh, these guys hate me."
Jeanette, we love you.
Her husband always, every time like he's in the background, he always jokes around about how we must be saints for having to put up with her.
I never caught that.
Thing is I don't mind like helping you guys and like going through each step because it helps me.
Yeah. I was talking about you if you watch the recording from last week, I was talking about you after you left. I was saying how I feel bad that I lean on your help so much sometimes. I don't as you're helping me go through step by step, you know. Sometimes I don't really understand what I'm doing when we're doing it, but then afterwards, after we finish, I catch on after the fact, and I really appreciate how helpful you are, walking me through it all the time.
Thing is, though, is you always catch things that I don't. I don't read like things super clear. Like I just speed through it.
Well, I guess that's like I said to her on the recording. That's part of the BYU learning process. The students teaching each other helps, you know.
Exactly. So I mean, you catch things that I don't, and then it helps me not mess up. Whereas I know how to do some of the things that you don't, and so I help you. So nice because we help each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's the whole point, yeah. My cousin came into town yesterday.
Oh
We
yeah.
had dinner with her at the pizza restaurant down the street. Yeah, it was good to see her.
I was traveling all day yesterday. We just got back from Houston last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to be home, but at the same time, it's just I don't know. Okay, so develop.
Traveling, like I was saying, traveling is always wipes me out.
Yeah,
You don't feel tired when you're doing it, but when you get home, you're like, or you get sick, you know.
yeah. The thing is like I got super sick for the whole trip, so like I ended up spending most of the time just sleeping and
You ended up spending your what?
most of the time sleeping and trying to feel better.
Oh, that's right. I remember now that you were talking about that. I remember you said you were sick last time. I remember you saying that. I didn't really dwell on that when you told me. I didn't think about it that much, but yeah, I remember you saying that. I hope you feel better.
Yeah, it was bad. It was annoying. So does it tell us to name it a certain thing?
I don't remember but it basically spells out pretty step by step in the instructions. Remember, it tells you to what you gotta do. You're gonna have to look up what all the you're gonna refresh your memory what all this standards of professionalism. It says, make sure you follow standard of professionalism step number 3. Make sure you follow standards of professionalism step number 6. So you kind of have to go back and refresh your memory to do all those things, but I'm not. I'm just gonna take my time. This thing's not gonna stop recording until I tell it to stop recording. So
It has the standards of professionalism transcript.
yeah, I had to download it. Let me go back to my browser. Let me show it to you. Where is it? Well, I don't have it open. Maybe I have it as a PDF file.
Oh, that's funny. So it's got it in, and it says like the 7th, the 6th. It's all written out. So you can't search it for. You have to spell out the.
Well, on the instruction page for Mini Project 18, there's a link that lets you open it in your browser. The standards of professionalism list.
Oh yeah, look at that. Never mind. I just downloaded the transcript from the actual video.
Hmm. Here's another step number 4. It says here it is in this list. So I have it open on the screen if you want to look at it.
Oh, I've got it open.
Okay. Gotta do grid lines, use borders. I think scrolling and I'll look through it as I'm already started my recording on my macro, so I'm gonna
me too.
one step at a time.
I'm trying to figure out if we're supposed to name it anything.
It tells you to put headers above certain boxes. I don't know, I'm sure that I read through it, but I don't remember right off the top of my head.
Does it tell you the name of the macro anything?
Oh, I did it like the assignment. I just named mine new week.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it gave us a name to make it in the instructions. But let me look back into it. I'll read the instructions again here.
Yeah, I just see a Control M.
Yeah, I did that when I started. I think you can maybe add that as a shortcut even after you've already finished recording it, maybe. And
So is this per week then that they're doing it?
yeah, in the description at the beginning it says it's meant to be for them to use every week. We have a problem in the business process. At the beginning of every week, our supply chain leadership team reviews the current snapshot of our inventory, what our inventory price, yield, etc. levels are at the very beginning of each week. Here is currently what has happened to get this inventory snapshot each week. First, the yada yada yada. Second, the yada yada yada. But yeah, it's every week.
Okay.
Make sure you read the 4 hints they give us too, because see, whenever somebody gives me advice that seems like common knowledge, common sense, I'm like, oh yeah, of course. But then I totally like put it in the back of my head, and I wind up screwing up the whole thing because I forgot to do one simple start save it as a macro before I started the project.
Oh yeah.
Where am I at? Total inventory. I started. Still making my new columns. Excuse me.
Well, that's
I don't know why I have my thing set to red. I'm tempted to like save it. Every time I do something, I want to go up and click on the save button, but I know they told us not to do that while we're recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, can you fix something? Thanks. Where's the freeze button for freeze rows?
It's under the view.
Gotcha. Thank you. If I select a row, like if I select row number 5 and I click freeze panes, that freezes everything above number 5, right?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Okay, make sure the numbers are formatted correctly for each type of a day. Okay.
Price and yield, those are dollars, those are monetary, right?
Yield is percentage.
Oh, okay. You know that column says lead time in weeks?
Yeah.
The numbers they provided are all like decimals with like 3 zeros after the decimal point. Should we get rid of those decimals and make it like just one integer?
Yeah, because they can only order one. They can't order what's the
They can't do a fraction of a week.
fraction of an order during a week.
Okay, cool. I don't remember what it is that this company is selling. Do inventories need to have to get rid of the decimal points for inventories?
Yeah, because it's their kitchen items. Format the worksheet so that it follows standard professionalism. Number 3, grid lines. Remove grid lines. Okay. Use borders. Dang it. That's annoying.
It sounds like you're like close to being on the same step as me. You're just reading instructions for the same step I was doing. Are you for changing the decimals? Are we just getting rid of the extra decimal spaces for all of them? Because all of them are like scheduled receipts by the week they will arrive. Can't have a fraction of a receipt, right? Look at my screen for a second.
Yeah, it's all going to be whole numbers.
All right, yeah, that's what I was asking. Okay.
The only one that will have a decimal is the price.
Okay.
And you could probably do yield too, but honestly, I'm not doing yield because there's none of them had it.
Standards of professionalism, number 3. What is that?
Use borders.
Use borders? Yeah.
Okay. And what's the next one? Sorry. Number 3 is
grid lines, yeah. Yeah, I read it.
Number 4 is use borders. Number 6 is scrolling. Presentations or summary areas. Do your best to display the information on the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to
I'm going to table right now. I did that.
Number 8. Color schemes and fonts. Okay.
Three, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Hey, let me ask you something.
What's that?
It says for number 6 for the standards of professionalism, not to make the person scroll to the right. Should I like cut and paste these columns and
No.
put them underneath each other?
No. What I did,
I guess the person can zoom out or zoom in.
so what I did was I just changed the width of the columns so that way each one was set accordingly. So like for instance, I wrapped the text
Oh
into
yeah, okay.
boxes.
To make them thinner, you wrap the titles,
Mhm.
the headers, right?
Yep.
Good idea.
So, and then I have it at 100% still, the viewing. Okay, let's see what's next. So 8 was color scheme fonts. Where's 9 decimals?
I've got everything in the middle. Maybe that messes it up.
And 11. Oh, see, all this is like stuff I just did. Make sure that the window screen view is zoomed in or out appropriately. Weird. Huh.
What's up?
Didn't get my borders for some reason.
I notice when you do borders, sometimes if you change the width of the column where it's not like correct, the border kind of looks like it's not there.
Yeah, I don't know why this would show up the way it's showing up, though.
Are you screen sharing? Let me see what you're talking about.
So this is my original
Mm-hmm.
right here. So see how these all have borders?
Yeah.
And I come over here, and all my borders are gone. On
Maybe when you got rid of the grid lines, it did that.
I don't know. Because the grid lines were already gone on this one.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I don't know. When you select the whole thing and make it like a format of a table, it doesn't change any of the. I mean, it adds like the names of the columns: column 1, column 2, column 3. Is that inevitable, and can you avoid that?
What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out.
No.
That's not something I'm doing right now. I was just asking when you make the column, when you make a chart, when you make a sheet in the format of a table, like with the separated line colors and stuff. I've noticed that when it does that, it gives the titles of the columns, like column 1, column 2, column 3. Whenever there's not already a title there, I was wondering if the
Show me what you're talking about.
okay, like, well, no, I'm recording right now. I don't want to do it right now. I'm recording my macro right now. I don't want to do it right now.
When you're trying to make these lines like different colors, is that what you're talking about?
When you highlight something, then you click on Format as a Table. If you don't already have a title up in your little top row,
What I do,
say
I
what?
don't. I just change the color of it. So I go up here and change the color of one of the lows, and then I'll highlight both of them, and then drag them down. And then what I'll do is I'll just come here and go to fill format only, and then it'll.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool.
So.
I didn't realize I could do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just curious why my borders are just here like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, I'm going to redo it because that's frustrating to me.
Yes, yes, professional. 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Got 3, 4, 6. I'm working on that right now. I did that. Okay, 6. 8, 9, 10, 11. 8 is a color scheme. 9 is decimals. And a cell alignment. Excuse me.
Ow.
Now, if I center everything on the page, is that going to mess up my width of my columns?
Mm.
Should we always just center all the text and things, or is it because like in the column it says description, by center it makes it kind of look kind of messy.
I don't center everything. I don't center prices. Like I guess currency. I don't center words. I don't center. Only numbers and like regular numbers and percentages do I center. And then I also center the item numbers as well.
You only center the prices and you only center the numbers, but not the description. Is that what you just said?
Hmm.
I was lost in thought when you were talking.
Sorry. So I centered the descriptions that have centered numbers. Does that make sense? The ones that don't have centered numbers, I don't center.
Not sure I understood what you just told me. I'm looking at the headers, the words in the headers have been centered to make it look nice. But the information below the headers in the columns, they should just all be aligned to the left, maybe. Or it doesn't matter as long as they all match, right?
Yeah, as long as it's uniform. You don't want it to be like all different.
Yeah, if I only center the title, the header lines, I don't have to worry about centering the data. Because the data is kind of appropriate already. Like numbers are off to the right and money is off. Well, I squeezed it. So I don't know. Whatever. Let me think about this. Let me see what this looks like. Yeah, if I center the headers, it looks good. Item numbers are all to the left, and the descriptions are all to the left. And money and percentage are centered. But the lead time numbers, they're all to the right. They don't have to be centered, I don't think. Inventories are to the right. Weeks are to the right. Did I forget to do the decimals? Yeah, I did. Oh, no, those are commas, aren't they? Decimals or commas? Yeah, it's decimals. How'd that happen? Some of my data has decimals and some of it doesn't. Let me get rid of the decimals. What is it? Top 10 rows of my supplier capacity all has decimals, but none of the ones below that do.
Wait, what?
On my category for supplier capacity for the 6 weeks, my top 10 rows, the numbers have decimals, but all the numbers below that don't have decimals.
It's probably because you only highlighted the numbers underneath because you froze the pane, remember?
Close what thing?
You remember how you froze your pane?
So now all the stuff behind the frozen stuff isn't highlighted?
Exactly.
Well, that's inconvenient.
Yep.
Okay. Well, they should make the getting rid of decimal step before the freezing panel step.
Uh-oh. My computer is about to die.
Plug it in.
And I don't remember if I'm recording a macro. Yeah,
Look at the bottom right. Is there a stop button where it says ready down the bottom left? If there's a stop button, that means you're still recording. That means you already started recording.
I just forgot to. I didn't forget anything.
So I'll line and make sure all the cells are left to right and lined up right. Oh, it says for step number 2 for standard professionalism, just accepting the default is not professional. So I guess I should change them all.
What do you mean accepting the default?
In the description for number 10 for the standards of professionalism, it says, make sure cells are all lined up left to right or centered. Be sure this is done consistently and professionally. By the default, text is flushed to the left in the cell, and numbers are flushed right. Merely accepting the default is unprofessional. I didn't realize that. Make the alignments of labels, text, and corresponding data numbers consistent.
No.
Maybe because I centered all the headers and I left the other ones the default. That doesn't make that qualifies as following the step because I didn't just accept the default for everything. I don't know. I'll center all the numbers too. It doesn't matter to me.
Sounds like my fire alarm.
Maybe I'll just make the descriptions not centered because that's what got me. That's what bothered me before is they looked weird. I'll line them up on the left. They don't look weird. Everything else can be centered. I don't care about anything else. Alrighty, so anyway. Back to what I was doing. Number 10. Number 11, wrapping text and merging cells. Use charts when the visual representation of the data is warranted. So they didn't include number 12 in the instructions, did they? I know I just recited it off like 3 times and didn't pay it. I think 11 was the largest number. Yeah, just number 11 was there. All right. Do anything else that would make the report adhere to standards professional that are relevant? Make sure that the window screen view is zoomed in or out appropriately so that it is easy to read.
Okay. That should have worked. heck? How did that happen? Get it. I should have just stuck with my first one. So, wow.
What happened?
Well, let me show you. Come look at my screen real quick.
All right, just a second.
So this is...
No, that's not good. Hold on. All right, let me look through the... All right, I'm looking.
This is what I ended with, right?
Yeah.
And this is when I actually did my macro, this is what it gave me.
Which one, number 8 or number 9?
What do you mean?
Oh, you're on sheet 8 right now.
No, I'm done. I just played my macro.
Oh, lovely.
And this is what it turned out to look like. Somehow this data got...
Well, consider this your practice run, and then read out, start from scratch again, and follow the steps one by one without the altercations, because the altercations are probably what's messing it up. Like I make a mistake, then I go back and I redo it. That's probably what happened. Like you made a mistake and then you go back to redo it, and then the macro doesn't follow exactly, or follows.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, let's try.
We both pretty much understand how to do this, and I think by viewing our video, Trinette can pick up on any of the things we discussed. Do you want to call it a day, or do you want to stick with the recording till we're finished?
We can call it a day. That's fine.
Okay. Well, go ahead and good luck on it. Go ahead and restart from scratch so you don't have that same problem.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, before we end the recording, go ahead and try doing it again. see if it makes the same mistake. Say that again.
Are you watching my screen? Is that why?
Yeah, I'm watching it now. I want to see it happen.
Okay. Let me go erase my macro. Okay. So record macro. New week. This workbook. Description is going to be
mini project 18.
No, it's just going to be week format. Okay, so now I'm going to start my recording. So over here. Okay. So, John, do you want to read to me the steps real quick?
Sure.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
So blank columns between.
All right, the steps of what they require. There should be a narrow blank columns inserted between relevant sections. The first section should be the number and description. So give me a heads up when you made that, inserted that little column, and I'll continue. The second section should be should include the price, yield, and lead time.
Oh wait, it should include all three of those?
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, you know what? I think what happened was I hit Control Z last time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I know what I'm doing now. I need to start from the beginning.
That's what you just did. Okay.
Um, so let's see. Okay, Word macro. Okay, new week.
Wasn't Control Z the same thing as hitting the back button?
Yeah, I think if you hit Control Z, I don't think it recognizes that.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably what happened, is it didn't recognize that I went back.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind well, I'm doing mine right now, as a matter of fact. If I have to redo mine, I'll try and make sure I don't go back any steps.
What? I thought I
Just
deleted.
that if I when I look at my recording, if it had the same problems, the next time I do this, I'll make sure not to take any backward steps.
Yeah.
You might already be using that shortcut for the first macro you made.
I deleted it. Okay, so let's see. So I'm
Yeah,
going
the first
to,
two columns need to be separated by by adding inserting a new column in there.
okay, so between item
Now,
number
between
description.
description and right, like click on a C and hit insert.
Okay,
Yeah, so that makes a blank. Then you make it a thinner width than it is. You can do that later if you want to.
ah, okay. What's the next step?
Okay, let me go back to read. Sorry, I was busy watching you. All right. So you group the first, the number description, price, yield, and lead times. The second one, the third group should be the inventory in the three locations. The fourth section should be the 6-week columns of the schedule receipts. The fifth section should be all the 6 columns of supplier capacity. Again, each of these 5 sections should have a narrow blank column between them to isolate or separate the sections from each other. Step B, or Part B, change each column width so that each appropriately shows the data contained in it. Usually when I do that, I just click on the whole page and then double click the column divider. Or you can do it one by one if you want to.
I don't think it wants you to, just because, for instance, it wants you to wrap text.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'll do is click here, wrap text. Bring the center. What's going on here? Weird. Do you see that?
I looked away for a second.
Okay. Are you playing the harmonica, or is it just me?
Oh, my friend has a phone. Her phone's got messages, making the little ringing, blowing her phone up.
Okay, that's fine. I was wondering if I was going crazy, or if you were just screwing with me by playing the harmonica.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sometimes if you hear beeps from my end, it's me hitting the shift button, like that noise.
Yeah.
Like I have my computer set to make noises, so I know when I'm hitting the wrong button by accident.
Yeah. Okay. So now I've got everything set up the way that I want.
Okay. And the next step would be, where were we at?
Freeze panes.
Create the head title total inventory. I saw you do that. And then merge the total inventory in the other two titles from the other two groups. Freeze the two top rows so that when they scroll down, the header rows will always be visible.
Okay.
Did you do that?
Yep.
Okay. And make sure the numbers are formatted correctly. Yeah, I saw you doing that too. All right, so now the standards of professionalism. And I'll read those to you since we're talking about 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 3 is a grid lines. 4 is using borders. I think what did it say? The next one was 6. Yeah. 6 is scrolling to make everything as thin as possible, so you don't have to scroll off to the right. And skip from 6 to 9, right? Yeah, 9. All right, number 9 is decimals. Get rid of all the extra decimals you don't need. 10 is cell alignment. That's make sure everything is centered except for the descriptions for the second column. And wrapping text, you already did that. Merging cells. And that's it. Remember, it also said do whatever's appropriate in the instructions. So I guess that's spell check also.
Oh, I gotta do this stuff real quick. Make borders. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so that should have worked.
Cool.
Let's give it a shot.
Well, give it a try. Do you have to highlight everything when you want to do the macro, or?
What? No, no. I just.
I
Okay, so it looks like it worked.
Cool.
So I think the biggest problem is you just don't want to. You want to make sure you don't hit Control Z.
Yeah. Alrighty. Okay, then I'm gonna go and end the broadcast. Sorry we missed you, Trinette. Hopefully, watching this video helps you with yours. I'll send her an email and see if she wants to do a meeting with me again later, so she can get credit for the contribution.
So, I guess can you see my screen still?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Okay, I just changed mine to a macro enabled workbook.
But didn't you already do the macro?
Yeah, but it needs to be saved as a macro enabled workbook.
Yeah, I know, but if you go back to the instructions, it says to do that before you start.
Well, let's see here.
Now that it's a macro enabled workbook, try the macro again. It may not work. You saved it when it was still a normal workbook.
It worked.
Good. Okay, good. But yeah, like I said in the beginning, make sure you read those 4 hints they give you, because I always tend to overlook common sense advice.
Yeah.
But you make sure you follow it. All right, buddy.
All right. See you, John.
Have a great day. Thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. What else am I doing?